up, everybody? I'm Noah from PhoneTalk.com, and we're doing something a little different this time. I'm recording this unboxing video of the Samsung Sprint Epic 4G, the newest Galaxy S phone, the newest 4G phone in the world, in the US. Not in the world, I don't know, but in the US for sure. Thanks to the folks at Sprint for lending us this one. Just came in today. We're doing something new. I'm broadcasting the unboxing live via our Facebook page, and then at the same time I'm also recording it the way we usually do with the HD camcorder to edit and put the little specs and stuff down the bottom, edit in those promos that I know you love so much for the OnePod Bandit and whatever else we're doing, all that stuff, and then we'll upload that the way we usually do to YouTube and our website and the iTunes feed and all that kind of business. But we figured, you know what? Let's just throw something. Let's throw something at the people, particularly Joey, because he's the coolest. The people watching live on Facebook, I like to mix it up, like to play around, so there you go. Anyway, enough out of me about that. What you want to know is about the phone, and I do too. I haven't even opened it yet. I'm psyched for this one. You may know if you follow the site that I've actually been kind of excited about the Droid 2 because it's an Android phone. It's a high-end Android phone with a keyboard that I found to be, a pretty good keyboard. The Droid 1, the initial one, I did not like the keyboard. Droid 2, I like the keyboard. And from what I've heard, Aaron and Adriana both have had some hands-on time with the Epic at some of the events, that the keyboard on this is really nice. And of course, it's a Galaxy S phone with the 1 gigahertz processor, the 4-inch screen, the whole business. So there you go. It's available August 31st, if I'm remembering that correctly, for $249.99 after rebate on contract from Sprint. So it's expensive, $50 more than you're used to out of the gate. And then, of course, you have to get the data plan with the $10 a month add-on for the premium, the 4G service, whether you have 4G where you live or not. Now, I'm doing this in Oakland, California, in the San Francisco Bay Area. 4G is not yet lit up here, so I won't be able to test out the 4G. But we've got Aaron in a 4G area, so for sure he'll be getting his hands on one to check it out. So enough out of me, enough of that. Let's get into the box, the Samsung Epic 4G. All right, so here it is, the Epic 4G Galaxy S phone. This is the third Galaxy S phone to hit a U.S. carrier. We had, of course, the T-Mobile Vibrant and the AT&T Captivate and the Verizon Fascination coming out at some time in our lifetimes, I hear. Actually, I'm hearing maybe October. But at any rate, Samsung just trying to blanket the world with the Galaxy S. This one's a little different, though, because it's got the keyboard and it's got the 4G, which the other Galaxy S phones for the U.S. do not have. Those are touch-only phones. Those are 3G only. I've got one around here somewhere. Hang on, let me go get it. So here you go, just for comparison's sake. It's the T-Mobile Vibrant, which, like I said, it's a Galaxy S phone. There's no touchscreen. Same 4-inch Super AMOLED capacitive display. Same 1 gigahertz processor. Different styling, obviously. You get a flash on the camera with the Galaxy S. The 4G, obviously, is a big deal. And then, the keyboard. So, there you go. We'll power it up, and while it's powering up, we will see what else is in the box. Go. All right, so also in the box, you get a box. And in that box is another box. And in that box, and so on and so forth. So, manuals. Your manuals in that box. For powering up, I'll try to keep keep that in frame so you can see it. You also get a headset Écoutez. Model number, you don't care what the model number is. It's a 3.5mm headset. It's got an inline microphone remote. It's got several sizes of earbuds, little gels, kind of in-ear design. You get a USB cable, micro USB to USB. You get a power adapter, USB modular style, so you can do your charging and your data transfers with the same USB cable. The micro SD card is inserted in the handset, and then you get an adapter, micro SD to SD, to facilitate easier side loading and syncing of your media. Even though Android really needs something like iTunes to make it just dead simple for people to sync all their stuff, but that's another story. I know there's Double Twist. I've heard Orb is pretty good. I'm going to check out Orb next. Here's the phone itself. On the front, the 4-inch display, your 4 capacitive touch buttons, Front-facing camera was the other thing I forgot to mention that differentiates this. That's a big deal to some people. Looks like some proximity sensors and stuff up there as well. On the right side, you've got your power lock switch. You've got what looks like a dedicated camera button. Yes, that's what I have to do. Apparently, when I press the camera button, I have to fan my fingers out, like I'm a fancy person holding a cup of tea. On the back, kind of the speckled design. It's got that same little lip on the bottom there as the Vibrant does. You can see it's a little more pronounced than the Vibrant, but that same kind of little chin on the bottom there, if you will, on the back side. 5 megapixel camera, autofocus, flash as well. On the other side of the phone, you've got another piece of film that I didn't take off. You've got a rocker switch for volume. Who knows what else it does, but it definitely controls the volume. And on top, 3.5mm headphone jack and your micro SD port behind the sliding plastic cover. That at least one review I read of the Galaxy S in general said its coolest feature is the sliding plastic cover. It is pretty cool. I noted that feature as well. I don't know if it's the coolest thing about it, but it is pretty good. Lots of extra film here. And then the keyboard itself. So a few things to look at with the keyboard. It's a full-on 5-row QWERTY board, which is pretty cool. The buttons are, like chiclet style, but they're isolated. So you don't always get that. The Droid 2, it's all one board and split up into a grid, and the keys kind of press up against each other. This style is, the keys are actually isolated from one another, which in general I prefer. Have to see how this keyboard is. You also get the 4 Android buttons replicated on the keyboard, which you don't see. You don't see that every day. You get a dedicated function button, dedicated emoticon button, dedicated shift button, 4 cursor buttons down here, and then a dedicated numeric key row. Numeric key row. You get a row that's dedicated to numbers. So, pretty full-on for a mobile keyboard in terms of just the number of buttons and the layouts and, dedicated buttons and stuff. That's about as good as it gets. Not saying the keyboard is as good as it gets. We'll have to see. The phone itself, like I said, I am not in 4G land, so I'm on 3G. Also has Wi-Fi. You get the Sprint Zone there. You get Sprint TV, Sprint Football, Sprint Nav, the Sprint NASCAR app, and then you get the Samsung apps, the daily briefing, feeds and updates. You get shortcuts to ESPN, CNN, YouTube. So Samsung Buddies now. So, it's the Samsung, it's Android with the Samsung layer over it, which, everybody's got their own opinion about these things. I personally would love to see a phone like this with just stock Android, because I think, especially Froyo, Android 2.2 is far enough along that you can make it do all these things with your own widgets. But that being said, I don't hate the Samsung TouchWiz 3 as much as some people do, or as much as I found feelings of disliking for TouchWiz 1 and 2. I think 3 is an improvement anyway, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Going to applications, you get kind of the same stuff we've seen on the other Galaxy S devices. AllShare, that lets you send your media out to another device like a TV set. Amazon MP3, Asphalt 5 is preloaded. You've got the Media Hub, which there's nothing yet. They're going to be, you can see right here, rent, buy, and download your favorite TV shows and movies in the Galaxy S, but not yet. I'll go back to applications. And you get Think-Free Office. You get Quick preloaded, so you can do your video streaming and two-way video calling. And so there you go. Let's go back home. Let's test out this keyboard. So let's go to messaging. And I haven't synced this up yet. I just took it out of the box. So I don't have anybody to send a message to, but that's never stopped me before. So far, pretty good. I did get that kind of double mush on the spacebar, I believe it was. It's just a little pet peeve of mine with these chiclet-style keyboards, where sometimes when you hit a key, a double wide key especially, you can feel it kind of click twice and it kind of rolls from side to side. Otherwise, chiclet style feels a little plasticky. You can definitely feel, some kind of a spring vibration type of feeling in the buttons as you go. but pretty good feel. The actual material used on the keyboards is pretty nice. It's kind of a little bit grippy, so it feels pretty good. There's pretty good true action under the keys. You know, I think you could, yeah, there's that, I got that double mush down in here somewhere. I think you, double mush, that's not a technical term. I think you get used to this keyboard pretty quickly and move along it pretty quickly. I'd be curious to see, you know, after a week or so with this, let alone, you know, 3 months, how it feels. And I'd be curious to see how a hardcore BlackBerry user, because BlackBerry users, you know, tend to be the most discriminating about their keyboards, to see what they think of this device. Me, like I said, I'm a big fan of the isolated style keys. The HTC Touch Pro 2, for me, one of, if not my favorite hardcore keyboards ever on a mobile phone. So far so good here. The layout I have to get used to a little bit just because things are kind of 1 row lower than I'm used to because you have that extra row just for the keys. It's a 5-row keyboard, not 4. But nice to have all those options, and I think if this was your daily phone day in, day out, first impression of the keyboard is definitely good for whatever that's worth. The phone itself, just because I mentioned the plasticky thing, it has that plasticky feel that Samsung phones often do and the other Galaxy S phones have had. Because it's heavier, because you've got that extra, you know, layer that has all those buttons in it, it actually gives it a more solid feel. So it's heavier, but it feels a little more solid than you know, like the Vibrate does. The Captivate from AT&T, the Galaxy S phone for AT&T, is kind of in between. It feels a little more solid than the T-Mobile Vibrant, but not, you know, as heavy or, you know, kind of thick, but also not as solid feeling as the Epic. It's definitely, you know, a large device. Interesting to see how it fits into the pocket. I think here's the Evo, just so you can see, you know, size-wise, the Evo with the 4.3-inch display. And we'll see if there's a little bit of battery left in the Evo. So, you know, there's a size comparison. The Evo, you know, bigger footprint, but much thinner. And I actually do have the Droid 2. I see it now. And so, you know, in terms of the new wave of Android phones with QWERTY keyboard shootout, you know, here's your comparison. The 4-inch display on the Epic 4G versus the 3.7-inch display on the Droid 2, and just what it does for overall size. And then a look at the keyboards as well. Whoops. And, you know, just much roomier on the Epic. So it's bigger, you have to carry more around, bigger in your pocket, or your purse, or your satchel, or your man bag, or your woman bag, or whatever. But it's bigger, and you have more room on the keyboard, more room on the screen, you know, more room overall. So there you go. First look at the Samsung Epic 4G for Sprint. It's the Galaxy S phone for Sprint. It's the second 4G phone to hit Sprint after the Evo 4G. You've got Android, you've got a front-facing camera, you've got a full QWERTY keyboard, capacitive touch, you know, everything but the kitchen sink in this one. And it's priced accordingly. Again, it's $250, $50 more than we're used to. $249.99 on contract, after rebate, front-facing camera, in action. There it is. Yeah, see, I can cover it up with my thumb. That's where it is. This one will be available August 31st, and today is August before 31st. So we've got a couple weeks with it before it hits the store. So hit us up. Let us know what you want to know about the Epic 4G. And, you know, it's funny, I was planning to do a dogfight this afternoon with the Vibrant, the iPhone 4G, the Droid X, and, oh, my mind's going blank now, of course. There was a fourth phone. Oh, and the Evo. And then, you know, the delivery guy came, and it was the Epic. So got a bunch of dogfights to do. Certainly an Epic versus Droid 2 with the keyboard comparison. But then, you know, you can mix and match all these phones. It's terrific. It keeps us in business, that's for sure. So stay tuned for all of that. Till next time, my name is Noah. Thank you very much for watching. And again, if you caught this live on Facebook, hopefully next time around I'll have the equipment to get the camera angle better. But after I turn off the main camera, I'm going to stick around on Facebook for a few minutes and do some live chat with the Epic, all right? Till next time, thank you. Go sign up on Facebook, phonedog.com, facebook.com/phonedog. Bye-bye.